Hello and welcome back to Word Unlocked. I'm Jake.
And I'm Sarah. And today's word is one I think a lot of people feel but don't always have the right word for. That inability to settle, to stay still, to be content where you are. That energy that has nowhere to go.
Yes, it lives in the body and in the mind, and sometimes in both at the same time. Sarah, the word.
Restless.
Restless. Let's learn it.
Restless means unable to rest, unable to stay still, unable to settle. Whether it is physical, your body cannot stop moving, or emotional, your mind cannot find peace in your current situation. The core meaning is always something inside is not at rest.
The opposite of restless is settled, content, at peace. Restless is the absence of that. Not necessarily negative. Sometimes restlessness is the signal that something needs to change.
Now the chunks.
Chunk 1. A restless night or restless sleep. Your body is in bed, but your mind is not resting. You wake up repeatedly. You turn, you adjust, you look at the ceiling, you check the time. A restless night.
For example, I had a restless night before the big interview. Not no sleep, just broken sleep, interrupted sleep, sleep that didn't restore you, a restless night.
Restless sleep is different from no sleep. It is the in-between state. Your body rested partially, but your mind was working through something. And the result? You wake up almost as tired as when you went to bed.
And often, a restless night tells you something. The thing keeping you restless, usually something unresolved, something unaddressed. The mind works on it while the body tries to rest.
Chunk 2. Grow restless or become restless. A gradual process, not immediate. Over time, boredom or impatience builds. A group of people, or one person, stuck in one place or situation too long. They grow restless.
For example, after an hour of the same presentation with no interaction, the audience grew restless. You could see it. Small movements, phones being glanced at, eyes drifting. The restlessness was building visibly.
Grow restless in an audience is the speaker's nightmare because it is happening in real time, in front of you, and you have to respond to it, change the energy, add interaction, do something different before it takes over completely.
Chunk 3. Feel restless. The internal, emotional version. Not boredom exactly, something deeper. You want something different, something more. You feel constrained, uninspired, ready for change, but not yet sure what kind.
For example, she had been doing the same role for 5 years, and she started to feel restless. Not unhappy exactly, not ungrateful, just restless. Something inside was asking for more, or something different.
Feel restless is one of the most important signals your inner life can send, because it is not a complaint, it's information. This is where you are, and this is no longer enough. Pay attention to that signal.
And feeling restless is not disloyalty to where you are. It's honesty about where you need to go next. The restlessness is the compass, even when you cannot yet see the destination.
Chunk 4. Restlessly. The adverb. You describe an action done with continuous nervous energy, movement that cannot stop because the person cannot settle.
For example, he paced restlessly while waiting for the results. Not one walk across the room. Continuous, back and forth, back and forth. His body expressing what his mind was feeling, restlessly.
Restlessly is very useful in writing and storytelling. It shows character. It shows state of mind, without stating the emotion directly. You don't have to say, he was anxious, you say he paced restlessly, and the reader feels the anxiety in the movement.
And chunk 5, restless leg syndrome, a real medical condition, an uncontrollable urge to move the legs, usually at night or during long periods of sitting still. The legs need to move, constantly, uncomfortably.
Restless leg syndrome is a very useful way to describe a real medical condition. For example, she always books an aisle seat on long flights because of her restless leg syndrome. The urge to move is not a preference, it's a real physical compulsion. Restless leg syndrome.
This chunk is important to know because many people experience it but don't know the name. If you or someone you know has an uncomfortable urge to move their legs at night, that is a real recognized condition. A doctor can help. Two stories, mine first, about feel restless. About 4 years ago, I had a job that was objectively fine. Good salary, reasonable hours, nice colleagues, no obvious problems. But I started feeling restless, quietly, persistently. I would finish tasks and feel, is this it? I would plan the week ahead and feel, same as last week and the week before.
I ignored it for a while, told myself, this is a good job. You should be grateful. Stop being restless.
But the restlessness didn't listen?
Not at all. It just got louder. Until I finally stopped dismissing it and started listening to it. What is this restlessness pointing at? What does it want? The answer, more creative work, more ownership, more of a challenge that genuinely stretched me. The restlessness was not a complaint, it was directions to somewhere more right for me.
And did you go?
Gradually, I made changes, moved toward the thing the restlessness was pointing at, and the restlessness, slowly, quieted because I was moving in the right direction.
The restlessness was not the problem. Ignoring it was.
Restlessness is always pointing somewhere. Your job is to find out where and be brave enough to move in that direction.
My story is about a restless night, and it is one that I think many people will recognize. The night before an important presentation, I had prepared well. I knew the material. I was ready in every practical sense. I went to bed at a reasonable time. And I lay there, awake, replaying the opening slide, the key points, the moment where I might be asked a difficult question, the moment where the technology might fail, every possible scenario on repeat. I woke up 3 times. Each time, more scenarios, more rehearsals, a completely restless night. And I arrived the next morning exhausted, despite being in bed for 8 hours.
And the presentation?
Of course went well, as it almost always does. The restless night had generated scenarios that never occurred. My mind had spent 8 hours preparing for problems that didn't exist.
The mind is a very enthusiastic problem generator at 2 a.m.
The most creative it ever gets, at 2 a.m., with completely unhelpful scenarios. And I learned when a restless night is coming, I now write down every worry before I go to bed, every scenario, every concern, on paper, outside my head.
Does it work?
Not perfectly, but significantly better. Because the mind becomes restless at night when it is trying to hold too many things simultaneously. Writing them down gives the mind permission to release them. Someone else is holding them now, the paper, and the mind can rest.
External storage for internal restlessness. I love that.
Okay, let's finish. Restless, unable to rest, unable to settle. In the body, movement that cannot stop. In the night, sleep that doesn't restore. In the emotions, a signal that something needs to change.
Your 5 chunks. A restless night or restless sleep, broken, unsettled sleep that leaves you tired despite hours in bed. Grow restless or become restless, the gradual buildup of boredom or impatience when stuck somewhere too long. Feel restless, the internal emotional signal that you need something different or more from your life. Restlessly, doing something with continuous nervous movement because you cannot settle. And restless leg syndrome, the real medical condition causing an uncontrollable urge to move the legs.
Your homework today: if you have been feeling restless lately about anything, don't dismiss it. Sit with it for a moment and ask, what is this restlessness pointing at? What does it want? What direction is it trying to give you?
Restlessness is uncomfortable, but it is not your enemy. It is your compass. Trust it enough to listen.
Rest when you can, move when the restlessness demands it, and always pay attention to the signal.
Thanks for listening to Word Unlocked. See you next time.
Stay curious, keep moving. Later,
Restlessly?
with purpose.